let's talk about Kaspa, because as a home crypto miner, I think we all need a strategy around Kaspa in 2025. What's going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're talking Kaspa, and yes, more Kaspa. If you guys are brand new to the channel, I'm the hobbyist miner. I started mining 4 years ago and started GPU mining Kaspa just over a year ago. During that time period, I actually flew out to Denver, Colorado and bought 12 Kaspa miners and road tripped all the way across the US. So I would say I'm pretty bullish about Kaspa. But we have a lot to talk about. A lot is going on with Kaspa behind the scenes and a lot of things to think about as a home miner. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm mining Kaspa with.
All right, let's take a look at our home mining shed. Whew, a little chilly. All right, so this is our home mining shed here. We'll take a look inside at what Kaspa miners we're running. We just got a bunch of snow here more recently. But yeah, here is our home mining shed. This is just a garden shed over here. And this is a home mining shed that we've really dedicated towards smaller miners. So let's go in, have a GPU mining rig in there, some other fun stuff for sure, as well as our Kaspa miners. So let's step inside, bang off our feet a little bit, get our light on. Oh, it's warm in here, feels good. Versus outside, it is cold. All right, so let's take a look inside our shed. We got our intake side here, our power wall. I know it's a nest of Ethernet cables. And a lot going on inside our shed here, which is pretty fun. So let's talk Kaspa. So what do we have running? Well, taking a look down here at a variety of our different IceRivers, we actually have, this is the original IceRiver KS0. And then we also have the IceRiver KS0 Pro. Up top here then, this is actually the Goldshell KA box. And I think we have the original, yep, so okay. This is the KA box over here, and this is the KA box Pro. Both Kaspa miners. They're going into these breakout boards here and into our HP server power supplies there. There's a few other miners in here. We have some lithium miners, a lithium, Radiant, and 2 more lithium. But at home here, we're really just running those 4 Kaspa miners total. But let's head over to my ASIC mining shed, much bigger of an operation with some big boy Kaspa miners. All right, we made it over to my ASIC mining shed. Look at the chickens. What's up, chickens? So my electrician's awesome. This is his property here. He actually cleared a path in the snow. Awesome guy to get to the shed. You also can notice, look, no snow around here. We're using the heat from our ASIC miners to help keep the chicken coop nice and warm. All right, so let's go ahead and head inside here. Take a look at what Kaspa miners we have running here. It's a little bit louder in here, so I'm going to try to talk as loud as possible. Give you guys a quick swing tour of our ASIC mining shed. We built this back in August. There's actually a full 10-day video. We redid and built this whole shed in 10 days. This is absolutely insane. All right, well, we're here to talk about Kaspa. So what do I have running on Kaspa? Any of these miners that you see with the teal intake guard are actually Kaspa miners. So right here, we have an IceRiver KS5L. As we venture across the top, we have another KS5L as well. Down below here, we got 2 big boys. They're actually running some fault lights right now. I'll talk about that in a minute. These are the KS5 Pros. I believe it's because of the temperatures outside, but they're hashing a little bit low. They have a hash rate warning. They're about 17 to 18 gigahash versus the 21. So something definitely got to, or terahash. Definitely something got to look into more. We also have another KS5L over here. Or actually, I'm sorry. This is not a KS5L. This is a KS3M. We have another one right here. And we have another one right here. The newer KS3Ms actually have a label on them versus the original KS3Ms do not. That was why kind of threw me off here and over here. Now over on our other side, you're going to see a number more of Kaspa miners as well. And you might be like, hobbyists, why are they turned around? Why are they into the intake wall? Well, during the winter time here, today it is 10 degrees out. It was -5 this morning. I have some of my miners facing this way. You can see these over here as well. You got another one here. You got a few over here, just to get some heat over towards the intake wall to stop it from freezing. So the nice thing is it keeps the intake wall about 20 degrees warmer than the outside air. Down below, we got a variety of miners, KS5L. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 KS2s in here. So we have 5 KS2s in here actually through the bottom. So quite a bit going on with these miners. And finally, we do have 2 IceRiver. These are KS 1.5. So you might be like, wait, what's 1.5? Never heard of it. It's actually a KS1. But we had 3 of them, and we actually took the third one and took the hash boards and moved them into here. So you kind of call them a Frankenstein build, KS 1.5s. These are not on Kaspa. This one is on Cedra. This one is on Bugna, which are the K heavy hash algorithm, and they are solo mining, complete spec play for sure. But these are 2 units that I'm definitely going to be selling. The KS2s, I think we're going to hold on to a little bit longer. KS3Ms we'll hold on to. KS5Ls, KS5 Pros. We're going to keep all of them up and hashing. So just a quick swing tour of our ASIC mining shed and all the Kaspas that we have running, Kaspa miners we have running, with a total of 17 Kaspa miners.
All right, so let's talk about the current state of Kaspa mining. And yes, it's absolutely been rough. Well, why? Why is Kaspa mining not as profitable as what it used to be? Well, when we take a look here at the Kaspa network hash rate, it's 1.25 exahash. And what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, if we take a look at the last year, now you guys can get a better idea as to the understanding of this. Kaspa's network hash rate is pretty much, at the grand scheme of things, the amount of horsepower, the amount of hash rate on the network, which at the end of the day really just translates into the amount of miners that are on the network. And if we go back to a year ago at this time, we were at 147 petahash, all the way down here. So as Kaspa was becoming more and more profitable, and at this point, it was mostly just GPUs that were online. But as ASICs started to become a thing, we saw the network hash rate start to climb. And that was okay then, because we were dealing with things like the IceRiver KS0 or the Goldshell KA boxes. So they were rather profitable, and it was great to be a Kaspa miner because the amount of network hash rate was significantly lower. But over the last year, the network hash rate on Kaspa has exploded. Not only have we had a number of miners come online, but the hash rate has just gone parabolic. The miners themselves have gone from 100 gigahash to 21 terahash worth of power or hash rate, which has ended up turning into 1.25 exahash. During that time period too, not only we had so many miners online, but taking a look at a 1-year snapshot of Kaspa, it's been an absolute roller coaster. And there were opportunities over the last year where we were at that 20-cent mark, and it was fantastic. However, with a few cent swings, going down 5 to 10 cents is very impactful with Kaspa. Right now, Kaspa is at 13 cents. Not only has our network hash rate gone up, but the value of the Kaspa token has actually gone down, which is pretty much the perfect storm to actually be a massive negative point for us Kaspa miners, especially as a home miner who were traditionally running small box miners like the KS0 or KS0 Pro or Ultra or some of the Goldshell KA boxes. Traditionally, we want our price of the coin to reflect the hash rate or even see hash rate drop down. And that's just definitely not the case from what we're looking at right here. Another factor is that Kaspa, you guys have pretty much noticed over the last several months, Kaspa has not followed Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form. So this is what 1 year looks like for Kaspa. Well, let's take a look at Bitcoin for 1 year. And you can absolutely see going back to November is really when things started taking off for Bitcoin. And we've stabilized upwards of around 100K. Do we see this at all with Kaspa? Absolutely not. Kaspa has been an absolute roller coaster. Now, Kaspa is not Bitcoin. I 100% get it. But when we look at altcoins here, here's Bitcoin, here's Dogecoin. November time period, we're seeing a straight line up. Let's look at Litecoin. Not necessarily a full straight line, but we've at least seen a massive pump. Kaspa is not even riding along with traditional other altcoins and reflecting the success and the pumps of Bitcoin. What does that mean? Well, what that tells me is that Kaspa is a massive outlier, that Kaspa is not going to reflect the success of Bitcoin, and it's not going to act like a traditional altcoin. And what does that mean for you as a home miner, especially those that may be looking to take profits? Well, what I would do is really keep a close eye on Kaspa, continue to stack and hodl that bag and wait for the pump, because we don't know when it's going to be. Kaspa, as I said, is not mirroring the success of Bitcoin. So it could be any day now in the next few months, or unfortunately, well over a year. Now, something to really take a look at with the state of Kaspa mining as a home miner is where are we at with the profitability of our home miners? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. So here is the IceRiver KS0. This unit came out in April of 2023. It was the talk of the town, 100 gigahash at 65 watts. And it was fantastic, being very profitable at that time. Jump ahead right now, we're in early 2025. This thing has become pretty much a paperweight. At only 100 gigahash, yes, it only uses 65 watts, but it's a drop in the bucket when it comes down to some of the competitors out there and some of the big boy Kaspa miners online, only bringing in 9 cents a day, but that's a negative 9 cents a day. That means you're not profitable, unfortunately, in any way, shape, or form. And these things have very much turned into spec mining rigs. Looking at the upgraded version, the KS0 Pro at 200 gigahash, it's still not making anything. Jumping to the KS0 Ultra, which I feel like just came out not too long ago, it's only making 4 cents. Now looking at some of our big boy miners, these were the first generations out there. We had the KS1, KS2, and the KS3M. The KS3M, even at 10 cents here, which is pretty competitive for a home miner rate, is bringing in negative $3.92. Moving on from there, taking a look at the KS5L, which is a 12 terahash model. That means that's 12,000 gigahash, equal to the original KS0. This model itself right now is only bringing in 40 cents, where this model back 6 months ago was $5,000. Finally, from there, looking at the Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pro. This is the best Kaspa miner currently on the market in January of 2025. This is doing 21 terahash, which is equal to 21,000 gigahash. Once again, take a look at where we were back in April at 100 gigahash. And even this model here, the best of the best, that came out in February, so pretty much almost 12 months ago, is only at $7.36. Keeping all this in mind, this is all due to the fact of that network hash rate continuing to climb, is not seeing a dip, and the price of Kaspa continuing to go down. So I think we really need to talk about when is the best time to sell, or what am I selling? And I'm talking about hardware, and I'm talking about my Kaspa token. So let's talk about miners. So as you guys saw, I have the KS0, KS0 Pro, KS0 Ultra, the Goldshell KA box, and the Goldshell KA box Pro. Those I absolutely am going to part ways with. It's time. It's absolute time to go ahead and part ways with these miners. Kaspa, the entire Kaspa ecosystem has evolved so quickly, not only with the network hash rate and all the new miners coming online, but with the technology behind Kaspa mining. A year ago, a little bit more, we were at 100 gigahash. Now we're at 21 terahash. In 1 year, that is an absolute insane evolution when it comes down to hardware, especially around a newer project, at least within the last few years with Kaspa. So not only will I be parting ways with those units, and I hope they go to a good home with someone who's just starting out in mining, that just wants to test the water without a big investment, is not as wrapped up in profitability and really just wants to learn about mining, I think those miners will be great for them. I am as well going to part ways with my KS 1.5. That's that unit that I have my ASIC shed on the workbench that was kind of the Frankenstein builds. I've been pool mining Cedra and also with Bugna for several months now. I've got a nice big bag of those, and we're going to sit, and that was absolutely a spec play. I'm going to hold on to the KS2s, even though they're right on that line too of questionability. Even the KS3s, KS5Ls, and the KS5 Pros. I'm hoping as price appreciation comes back to Kaspa token that we do see those miners take off. Because right now, only the KS5 Pro is profitable out of all of those other miners that I own. All right, so let's talk about when I plan to sell Kaspa. So I have several $1,000s in Kaspa. Kaspa is in my top 5 of my portfolio position, and I've done well with it. Most of my Kaspa was earned early on with not only with GPUs, but also with early models like the KS0 and the KS0 Pro. However, when I look at it, we've been sitting on this for quite a while before Kaspa was even at that penny mark. And so I do want to take profits. That's why we're all in this, is to take profits. And I'm not sure where Kaspa is going to go because we've seen Kaspa not follow any of the traditional altcoins. It excites me, but also there's a little bit of fear in there on like, if Kaspa is not reflecting at all, or it's not reacting at all to Bitcoin or any of the altcoin success, what does Kaspa react to? And we've seen Kaspa do very well when we have some of these tokens come out on the platform, like when KRC20 launched, and we saw a lot of price appreciation for that, and miners were super excited because of all the transactions on the network. But as soon as that hype was gone, Kaspa's price dropped dramatically. So here's where my head's at. I very much am in the school of thought where I only ever sell at max 50% of my bag. So my thought is right now we're at 13 cents. I want to take some profits at 25 cents. That's kind of my goal. I need to take some of those profits and roll them into, I'll be honest, more successful and more profitable projects. However, I'm going to hold out again to 50 cents, hold out again to 75, and hold out again to $1. Now, I'm going to take my goal, and this is my plan, and you may call me a fool, or you might be like, oh, that's not a bad idea. But I'd love to know your plan for selling Kaspa. And some people step in, they're like, my plan is to sell Kaspa at $10. And if so, that is awesome. I hope you can hold till $10. But for me, I want to take those profits and roll into other projects. So I will be taking 50% of my profits at 25 cents, 50% at 50, 50% at 75, and 50% at $1. And the reason that my strategy behind Kaspa and taking profits has changed dramatically over the last year is because of the last few months. Once Bitcoin hit 90K and we didn't see Kaspa react. When Bitcoin hit 100K, when Bitcoin hit 108K, those are some kind of tells to me that I need to kind of take my profits in a more strategic manner. So that's my plan with selling Kaspa. So now let's talk about the future of Kaspa mining, especially as a home miner. And I'm going to be straight to the point. It does not look bright. There's rumors out there, and absolute rumors, that IceRiver has an 80 and 85 terahash model in its arsenal, that Bitmain has a 95 terahash model, and they're just sitting by waiting to release these when Kaspa has a massive pump and stabilizes again over 20 cents. Do I believe it? 100%. It would be absolutely smart for these companies to hold on to these, because right now it doesn't make sense to release these units because they won't be as profitable based off of a 13-cent Kaspa token. It's rough, it's scary, but I really do think that home Kaspa mining is absolutely out of the question moving forward. And it's not the news you hope to hear. But moving forward, I think you can only get by Kaspa mining with these big boy miners. With the emission schedule, with the increased network hash rate on Kaspa, I do not see home Kaspa mining returning in any way, shape, or form. Those of you guys that are GPU miners, you saw GPU mining go by the wayside very quickly. Hopefully you guys got in enough Kaspa in your moon bags to make a really good profit. But I see that happening as well for home Kaspa miners. Guys, wasn't the happy-go-lucky news that you hope for as a home miner, but I wanted to bring you guys a little bit more insight into my mindset of Kaspa, when I'm going to be selling some hardware, when I'm going to be selling my Kaspa. Hopefully it was helpful to you. We talked about a lot in today's video about Kaspa, so please leave your comments directly down below. All right, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Sorry to interrupt your video, but check this out. I constantly get emails from the community asking me about trustworthy hosting facilities in the United States that I recommend. Well, I got you covered. Listen up. A few months back, I visited Black Ops Mining's brand new facility in Central Arkansas. The team there was super professional, knowledgeable, and everyday miners like you and I. After visiting the facility, I sent them a few of my ASIC miners for hosting and have been super happy with their service and communication. Go contact Black Ops Mining directly down below in the video description and tell them the Hobbyist Miner sent you for great pricing on miners and hosting.